And the Dobrinic channel is back, and tonight we are talking about Lake Mead. We're going to be talking about the Colorado headwaters here, and we're going to be looking at the rivers. Somebody asked me to check out Gunnison River, and I have not a problem doing that. He's like, you never talk about Gunnison. Well, tonight is your night. I'm going to do that for you. And if you think this is worthy of a like, please consider giving that a thumbs up at the end of the video, and please consider giving it a subscribe. And with that being said, we are going to start off by rolling over to windy.com. We are over here at windy.com and we're looking at the next 10 days of precipitation, and it just doesn't look that impressive. You got over at Steamboat Springs, we're starting in Colorado, 0.4, over at Vail, 0.34, over at Aspen, 0.29, down at Montrose, 0.22, Grand Junction, where Gunnison is located, 0.21. We come down here, 0.55, and then a little bit further, 0.58. Now check this out down here between Lake Powell and Lake Mead. There's quite a bit of precipitation coming, 0.47, 1 inch there, and then down here, 0.55. So you have a good swath of precipitation right through here. St. George up here, 1 inch, and over here, 1.18. So this is fantastic news for Lake Mead, not so much for Lake Powell, and hopefully this will help it increase some. I'm not saying that it's going to fill back up by any stretch of the imagination, but they definitely need a lot of precipitation, and this is good, being that I have some information at the end of the video you're going to want to see. So stick around for that. We're going to talk about the long range, and it's just not looking very good at all. So we will go over to new snow, and then the new snow is going to be 6.6 down here, and then up here by Aspen, 2.9, Gunnison, 1 inch, and we'll be looking at Blue Mesa as well tonight, and then 2.9 there. We come up a little bit higher just past Glenwood Springs up here to the north, 5.7. This is probably the strongest spot that they're predicting a good snowpack, and then 3.7 in Steamboat Springs to the north there, 4.8. We come over here to Flaming Gorge, and to the south of Flaming Gorge they're going to get a good swath of 7 inches, which is good for the Green River, and then we come up a little bit further, 2.7. Now I want to go over to snow depth. Here we are at snow depth up by the beginning of the Green River, just the Green River headwaters here, 59 inches. It's a whole bunch, and that's really good news there. As we scoot down a little bit further, you have none, and then you get down to Flaming Gorge, you got 4.2. We scoot down a little bit further, you got 16.3. We go back down to Colorado here. Steamboat Springs got 46. We go down to Vail, 45.6. We go down to Aspen, 50 inches. Over here at Telluride, you got 54 inches, and down here you got 53 inches, and then up by Crescent Butte you have 54 inches. So you get the gist. There's quite a bit of snow, but not a real good snowpack in compared to some other years, and we are going to check that out right now. Here we are at the snowpack in the upper Colorado. You can see that the snowpack is 94.87% of the March 22nd average. Years in the past have been a lot higher. For instance, 20,646 is measured by snow weight, so that's how much it weighs. And then down here today is 13,792, and then the normal is generally around 15. So you're down 6% for the year. Not very good as far as that goes. That is what's going on. We are going to start off at Blue Mesa because somebody's like, you never cover Blue Mesa and you never cover Gunnison. Tonight's your night, and I do both. Okay, so we are at Gunnison River, and you can see that the level's running at 2.3, and generally it starts to get action around 9.5 foot or so, and it's running at 2.03 feet right at the current time. We go down close to Grand Junction here, and you can see that it's a little bit higher at 2.92, and it's a long way from even having action. You don't see any yellow on this chart whatsoever. We go down a little bit further here. This is the Colorado River near the state line. You have the Colorado River's running at 3.19 feet, so you're not getting a whole lot of movement there. There's not a whole lot of snow melt yet. We come up a little bit further, the Colorado River here, 3.72. We go a little bit further south, Colorado River near Cisco, and it's 2. 0.11, no action whatsoever. We'll keep an eye on this. When this thing really starts to go up, that's when you know that there's big time floods coming. Just not a whole lot of snowmelt whatsoever, so there's nothing really going on here. So off to Blue Mesa, and then we'll go up Flaming Gorge, Lake Powell, and don't forget at the end of the video I have the long-term forecast that you might want to check out. And we're at Blue Mesa water level, and look at the elevation there. The elevation is 7,435.39 feet MSL, Monday, March 21st, 2022, 12 a.m. The level is 83.61 feet below full pool of 7,519, so it is down quite a bit. You can see that it really starts to rise right around May 29th or so. I mean, you start getting some around April 29th, which is about a month away, and then generally has a small peak, and then it comes way up here to June, and then it starts to fall, and that is where we currently stand at Blue Mesa. You have to remember they released quite a bit of water last summer to elevate Lake Powell by 2-3 feet, that in Flaming Gorge, and yet it didn't do a doggone thing whatsoever. So just remember that going forward. This thing's not Lake Powell's savior by any means. This thing is a long way from being full, and it's going to take a miracle to get that thing back up to 7,519 feet. It hasn't seen that in the last 3 years. In 2019, it come really close, so there is hope that it could rise all the way back up. It was similar in 2019, and then it really rose, and then it'll drop right back down. So we'll be watching this to see if this comes up. Let's roll up to Flaming Gorge and see what's going on next. We are at the Flaming Gorge Reservoir water level, and the water level at the Flaming Gorge is currently 6,018.33 feet MSL, Monday, March 21st, 2022 at 12 a.m. Level's only 21.67 feet below full pool of 6,040. In the last 3 years, it hasn't made that. Let's go to 2019, almost 2018. Not quite. 2017. In the last 6 years, it hasn't been to 6,040, so you have that. I don't know when the last time it has been to 6,040, but definitely not in the last 6 years. Let's roll down to Lake Powell and see what's going on there. I'm sure it looks worse than the other day, and down to Lake Powell we go. Lake Powell water level. The current water level at Lake Powell is 3,524.17 feet MSL, Monday, March 21st, 2022 at 12 a.m. The level is 175.83 feet below full pool of 3,700, down another 0.2, and I was curious how high it's been in the last 6 years. We go to 2019, nope. 2018, nope. 2017, the highest you got was 3,635, which is still way below, and today we are way below that. So we're under that 35-foot buffer as I talked about the other day, and just continues to drop. Now, some people say that it's going to come back up with the snowmelt, and there is a decent snowpack, but this thing is in trouble, and I'll show you why here in a little bit as we roll down to Lake Mead. Lake Mead water level. The water level at Lake Mead's 1,063.33 feet MSL, Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022 at 3 p.m. The level's 165.67 feet below full pool of 1,229. And I'm curious how high this thing has gotten in the last 6 years, as today we are down another 0.8. You can see this thing starting to drop like a rock, and this is going to drop, and this is a reflection of upriver. As that lake continues to drain, so doesn't this one. It almost feels like it's by design. Here we go. 2019, this thing was a lot higher. We go to 2018, this thing was a little lower. We go to 2017, and you can see that none of this ever moves. 2020, like I said before many times, I thought in 2020 that this thing was going to get up to 1,100, and it just never ever made it. We are really in trouble as this thing continues to drop. We are 13.33 feet away from losing 9 turbines at the dam, and it's just a matter of time. And for every time it drops 2 foot, you lose a megawatt of power. Big time trouble. You're going to lose a lot of power coming up by this summer, I believe. So let's roll down to Lake Mojave and see what's going on down there, and we'll check those water levels out. Lake Mojave water level. The water level at Lake Mojave is 642.64 feet MSL, Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022, 4:45 p.m. The level is 4.36 feet below full pool of 647, and you can see that this thing's been as high as 645. 2019, nope. 2018, nope. 2017, nope, didn't even come close. This thing hasn't been to 647 in a long time either, at least 6 years that I know of. Changes since yesterday, this thing's up 0.5. You can see that there's always a big drop in October. That's pretty common, it looks like, and then it comes right back up in November, so we'll be watching that. Let's roll down to Lake Havasu, and hello to the gang down there. I hope all is well as we roll down to Lake Havasu. Lake Havasu water level. The water level at Lake Havasu is currently 448.22 feet. Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022 at 4:30 p.m. The level is 3.22 feet above full pool of 445, and you can see that this thing gets up above 445 quite frequently. And we go to 19. We'll see what the highest has been in the last 6 years, and the highest it's ever been was 2020, whenever they had the majority of the water in 2020 at 450, which is 5 feet above full pool, and that's pretty typical this time of year. So now, as promised, we're going to go check out the long range forecast as they have updated it since the last time. So let's go check that out now. Here we are at the long range forecast, and this is for April, and you can see that there's a 60% chance here in the Colorado Basin that it's going to be below normal. So you have that going on, and then there's 55% up north and 50% here. This is your equal chances right here, and then you can see over here above and over here by Washington, going to get a lot of precipitation. Let's go to the next one. Things look more bleak. We are April, May, and June 2022. You can see that below 70% or better here. This is not looking good, California included. And then you can see the equal chances are right through the Mississippi River Valley, Ohio River Valley, just as predicted. They're still calling for it to be much above precipitation over here. Let's go a little further out and see what's next. You could see that there's a big swath, the northwest up here, all the way down through Wyoming, part of Colorado, most of Colorado, and then down here they're saying that there's a good equal chance of the monsoon, so that's good in a sense, but bad for up here. And this is for May, June, July 2022, and we roll out a little further. Here we are, August, September, October, and you can see that it's going to be below in Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, northern part of Nevada, Utah, and Colorado here. They're going to be below, and then the rest of this is a good equal chance. The above has pushed over here to the east, and the rest is just an equal chance there. So they're saying that the extreme weather is going to, this fall, is going to be right through here. And I'll go one more out through October, November, December next. Finally, after all that, California is going to be below. The rest of the country is going to be equal chances. EC means 50-50 chance of either being below or normal. That's better than below, I suppose, but it's still not above by any means. So not at all through the Colorado River is not going to be above at all, just maybe some equal chances here and there. And that's through the end of the year. Like I said, this is October, November, December. That's what that means, valid OND, October, November, December 2022. Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the content. I actually remember this time. Please give it a thumbs up and a like if you really enjoyed this, and we'll see you on the next one. God bless.